My name is Liam. I'm 28 years old, and I live in Chicago, United States. The characters in this story also live in the US. I take great pride in my Indigenous heritage and perform at powwows. This story is about a personal experience where I had to protect my culture and dignity when my girlfriend and her family disrespected it during a holiday gathering. I remember that Christmas evening being unusually cold, and I was heading to my girlfriend's house, excited but nervous. There were about 15 adults and 4 children. I shared my Indigenous heritage, my powwow performances, and singing. At first, everyone seemed friendly and normal, but slowly I got that feeling people of color sometimes sense when their culture is about to be trivialized. Then the questions and comments started. Do the words mean anything? I can hop too. How much Indian are you? Do you get money from the casino? I stayed quiet, but irritation grew with every remark. Then her uncle told me to do an Indian chant and dance. I refused politely, but they insisted, and others joined in, laughing and pressuring me to perform. I knew this was disrespectful, and I couldn't tolerate it any longer. The uncle then told his kids to dance like Indians. 2 children jumped around making strange noises while everyone cheered. My girlfriend laughed. The Bill and I just stared in disbelief. I tried to politely stop them, but they continued, ignoring my discomfort and my culture. I finally stood up and said, I'm not your show monkey, and you need to respect my culture. My girlfriend didn't defend me. She only said softly, they're just kidding around. I realized how unacceptable this was. I headed to the bedroom to grab my things, but she had driven her car, leaving me without transport. I felt helpless, but tried to maintain my dignity in a toxic situation. The BIL realized how serious it was and decided to drive me home. About 15 minutes into the drive, he shared stories of his own experiences with ignorant family members. That moment made me realize I had made the right decision. I could not stay in a toxic environment, no matter what I felt for my girlfriend. I finally felt a mix of relief and anger, but mostly clarity. After the BIL drove me home, I was shaking, angry, and completely drained. My mind replayed every humiliating moment. The kids mimicking my heritage, the laughter, and my girlfriend sitting silently. I realized I couldn't continue a relationship where my culture wasn't respected. I needed to reclaim my dignity, even if it meant ending a 1.5-year-long relationship on Christmas. I turned off my phone to escape the world. The next day, I passed out, woke up mid-afternoon, and tried to focus on myself. I made waffles, built a bed for my dog, and tried to immerse myself in small joys. I drove to Best Buy, planning to distract myself with gaming. The PS5 wasn't available, but I bought a new TV, a Nintendo Switch, and games. I was determined to create a bubble of peace and independence. After nearly a full day offline, I turned my phone back on to an overwhelming flood of messages. Friends, mutual acquaintances, and even family had reached out. Some asked if I had vandalized my ex's father's car, a rumor she had spread. I ignored most messages. My adrenaline was still high, but I focused on grounding myself. I reminded myself the breakup was necessary and not a reflection of weakness. My ex tried to contact me repeatedly, apologizing, but also baiting me with lines like, "What about our history?" And "We talked about having a family." I responded once, calmly explaining that watching her laugh at my culture was heartbreaking and unacceptable. I made it clear that we had no chance after what happened. Each follow-up message she sent reinforced that the relationship was irreparable. Meanwhile, the BIL checked in with me, showing support and understanding. He shared his own experience of encountering ignorant families and reassured me I had done the right thing. He revealed he was part Choctaw and dealing with a divorce, adding layers of empathy to his support. That connection reminded me that not everyone would dismiss or ridicule my heritage, giving me a renewed sense of pride and validation. Our mutual friends were split. Some criticized me for the timing of the breakup, while others understood immediately. I explained screenshots and details to those willing to listen. Slowly, I realized that preserving my dignity meant letting go of not only my ex, but also those who failed to recognize the severity of her family's actions. I embraced solitude, focusing on the friends who truly respected me. Meanwhile, the grandmother of my ex reached out online, a kind woman disappointed with her family's behavior. She shared Indigenous history posts, trying to educate and honor my heritage. I connected with her briefly, feeling respect and warmth. It reminded me that while some people failed me, others recognized the importance of culture, history, and human decency. This small gesture helped me begin to heal. In the days following the breakup, I focused entirely on myself. Gaming, building things for my dog, cooking, and exploring Chicago on my own became my therapy. Each small action reminded me I was independent and capable of happiness, without relying on a toxic environment. I embraced solitude not as loneliness, but as a period to rediscover my priorities and reconnect with my culture on my own terms. I reflected deeply on the relationship, realizing the warning signs had been there all along. My girlfriend's inability to stand up for me and her family's blatant disrespect were deal breakers. Even though we had shared intimate moments for over a year, my self-respect and cultural pride were more important than history or nostalgia. It was painful, but I finally understood that love without respect is not love at all. Friends and allies gradually understood the truth. Some were shocked at my decision, but those who mattered supported me fully. I learned to filter out opinions that didn't honor my experience, realizing that not everyone deserved my explanation or validation. Surrounding myself with people who truly cared and respected me became more important than clinging to anyone who doubted my perspective. The grandmother of my ex remained a bright spot. Her gestures of respect for Indigenous history reminded me that there are people who genuinely honor culture. I reconnected with my heritage more intentionally, performing at powwows, sharing my music, and mentoring younger Indigenous artists. These acts became a source of strength and healing, helping me feel grounded and proud of who I am. I also stayed in touch with the BIL, who became a true friend and ally. We bonded over shared experiences of family ignorance and mutual respect for our cultures. He reminded me that even in toxic environments, genuine connections exist and can help you navigate challenges. These friendships, built on empathy and understanding, reinforced my belief in the power of community and support beyond romantic relationships. Looking back, I realized the breakup wasn't just about ending a relationship. It was a reclaiming of self-respect and cultural dignity. I learned to trust my instincts and prioritize my well-being over social expectations. Life became about celebrating who I am, embracing my heritage, and surrounding myself with people who uplift and understand me. That Christmas marked not loss, but a rebirth into self-confidence and independence. Ultimately, I understood that respect cannot be compromised for convenience or love. Letting go of someone who laughed at my culture was painful, but necessary. I grew stronger, wiser, and more in tune with my identity. Today, I celebrate my heritage, cherish supportive friendships, and walk forward knowing my dignity is non-negotiable. Life moves on, and I am finally free to thrive on my own terms.